Alright, time to do a new streak since I didn't get around to finishing that last one. Hopefully it's still doable this weekend or something. Okay, anyways, design spreadsheet. A spreadsheet is a grid. A spreadsheet is a grid with 26 columns labeled A to Z and a given number of rows. Each cell in the spreadsheet can hold an integer value 0 to 10 to the 5th. Between 0 and 10 to the 5th type. Probably inclusive, probably. Inclusive. Implement the spreadsheet class. Spreadsheet constructor takes an int rows, initializes spreadsheet with 26 columns labeled A to Z. And a specified number of rows. Rows are initially all set to 0. Void set cell, string cells, int value. Sets the value of the specified cell. The cell reference is provided in the format AX. Example A1, B10, where the letter represents the column and the number represents one index row. Okay. So the first row is index 1. Void reset cell resets the specified cell to 0 as a cell string. Get value. The value is the formula, string formula. The value is the formula, the form equals x plus y and x, where x and y are either cell references or negative integers, non-negative integers. Returns the computed sum. If get value references a cell that has not been explicitly set using set cell, its value is considered 0. Okay. I wonder why they need to say this note if all cells are initially set to 0. Well, whatever. Alright, spreadsheet, 3 rows, I think. Yeah. Get value 5 plus 7. That just returns 12. Set cell A1 to 10. Get value A1 plus 6 would be 16. Set cell B2 to 15. Get value A1 plus B2, so it'd be 10 plus 15, so 25. Reset cell A1, that'll be 0 now. Get value A1 plus B2 would be 0 plus 15, so it's 15. Okay. Reasonable. I'm not sure why this. I guess this is not really easy, but it's not also all that difficult. I don't think. You just need to have some internal data structure for things. Okay, so let's go ahead and create the internal data structure. So it's going to be an array of values, integer values. So I'll say matrix. You could also do the grid, I guess. I'll do grid, since that's what they described it as. It'll be initially an array, and then that'll be filled with arrays, so it'll be a 2D array for each row, an array for each row. Actually, I could probably do something like, there'll be a list for k in range of rows. I'll just print it out just to double check. No, it needs to be 26 long, right? What am I doing? It's 0 times 26. 26 columns. Okay, these things need returns, otherwise it gets a bit confused. why there's nothing inside the functions. Alright, so 3 rows. Okay, 3 rows of zeros. 26 zeros. Yeah. And then I think that's all that I need to have initially. Set cell. So I just need to parse the cell value. Well, reset cell is just going to be set cell to 0. It'll be self dot set cell this cell to 0. So the first letter is the row, so or the column. So I'll say letter. I'll column index is going to be cell, the first letter. I guess it's ordinal that minus ordinal of A. Ordinal converts it to like a integer value. I wonder if I can just, no, this is fine. Ordinal capital A, so that's the column index. And then the row value. I have to parse that. I guess I just need to do an integer version of it. So the row index is cell, everything 1 after it. So the substring from index 1 to the end converted to an integer. And then minus 1 because it's 1 indexed. And then I say self.grid at the row index first. That gives me the subarray, and then column index gives me the spot in that array is equal to this value. And then get value, same deal here. Get the column and row index. Oh no. Maybe I need a helper function to a helper function to convert to parse the row and column or the string to parse the string to something that is a row index and a column index. Right? How do you do private helper functions? Private helper functions in Python. Like I don't want to do a public. Designate a function as a private helper within a module prefix its name with a single underscore. Within a class. Similarly, within a class, the method prefix with a single underscore is considered a private helper method. This is intended to call only that's the same class. Okay, that's what. Okay, it's underscore. Get indices. And passing in a string. And this will return this returns a list of integers. wonder if I can say it returns a tuple that is two-valued. Python 3 return tuple syntax. I want to. What is the syntax for the way you declare function that returns a tuple? Is it not Python 3? Syntax return value of function with method. What is the syntax for the method declaration where the method returns a two-value tuple in Python 3? Tuple int. Interesting. Okay, lowercase tuple bracket int. So does the same deal here, gets the row column, and then returns column index, no. Row index, column index. And then here I can just call the get self, get indices for this cell, and it'll be row column. Row column. And here I just need to parse it, parse the string initially. Parse the string initially. Okay, so okay, I think maybe I just need to identify where the plus is. Python find string. That find as the method to find a character within a string. Returns the lowest index in the string where the substring is found. Optional start and end. Okay. So let's say the split is going to occur where the formless string finds the plus symbol. then I'm going to have maybe reference 1 is the formula from 1 up to the split. It doesn't include the split character, which is the plus symbol. 1 because it doesn't include the equal sign. Reference 2 is formula from the split plus 1 to the end of the string. And I need to check to see if the first character is a letter, and if so, then it's just, I need to get the indices, otherwise it's an actual integer value that is added. So let's say value 1 and value 2 with 2. I'll say if reference 1, the first character is a letter, is digit in Python, is that thing. This digit method is a built-in string method used to determine if all characters within a string are digits. String.isDigit. So if this is a digit, I wonder if this would work. It returns a character and doesn't return an array. No, well, we'll see. If it's a digit, then value 1 is the integer version of this reference. Else value 1 is going to equal, else I need to get the row and column from this reference. Indices for this reference, and then value 1 is equal to the grid for this row and column. Same thing for value 2 or reference 2. Then return value 1 plus value 2. Indices there seems okay. Okay. See how this works in the broader test cases. Okay. 50 something %. Guess the thing would be, there might be some faster way of parsing this stuff, or determining when I need to parse it. Wonder if instead of returning a tuple, if I return just a list of 2 values. Because it creates I don't know. I would assume creating a list of 2 values versus a tuple of 2 values is probably the same. Maybe it's slightly faster to do a list because you're just passing references. Let's say Turn. What did I ask before? What about the syntax for returning a list of 2 values? Python. List of string. Tuple unpacking versus list access. Unlike with a tuple, you cannot use tuple unpacking to get the individual items directly from the function that returns a list. You must first assign the return list to a single variable and then access this list by their index. Oh, I see. I do like the tuple unpacking feature. List versus tuple. When you want to use which choice between returning a list or tuple depends on whether the collection of return values should be mutable or immutable. If it's immutable, then it should be tuple. Tuple is slightly faster and more memory efficient. Okay, yeah, I guess this should be a tuple. Not really planning on using that column and row index in some sort of editing fashion. Where to speed this up? Might be beyond my understanding of how to speed this up. Set cell. Pass in the cell reference. I mean, I guess I could do this check first before I do the split stuff. So, for instance, I could do something like if the formula at index 1 is a digit. I guess I still used reference 1. Oh, let's see this. Value 1 is equal to the integer of formula from 1 to the split. So what I'm really getting rid of it here, it's just the variable reference 1. Else row column is equal to self dot get indices of formula from 1 to the split, and then value 1 is self dot grid at row column. So yeah, it's just getting rid of the reference 1 variable in this fashion. Guess that's still something. Okay, let's quickly type out the one. If formula at 1 plus the split index is a digit, then value 2 is equal to the integer value from formula at 1 plus the split to the end, else row column is equal to self dot get indices formula from 1 plus the split to the end, value 2 is the self dot grid at row column there, return value 1 plus value 2. It would be the same pretty much. So it's not the same. And has no attribute. Misspelling. Disease. This is just a strictly cosmetic change. Expect no change in the speed. Or it could get worse, just randomly. There's just no way this should be worse randomly, right? What the fuck? Alright, let's try run one more time. What is the random variation here? It did get worse. First wave was 133. There's just no way this should get worse. Ow. This is returning to the first way. Okay, there we go. Maybe the first way just had a very lucky run. Okay. Wonder. Is there a faster way of parsing the string? So that's. I mean, what other thing is possible speed up here? I could do a dictionary where I do a mapping for everything. How many rows are there here? 10 to the third rows. So it's 1,000 values in 26,000 values in the dictionary. Interesting. So the benefit of doing that would be I don't have to do these integer conversions. Huh. And it wouldn't it could be a default dictionary. Let's see. It would maybe take a lot more space. But I mean, so it'd be a default dictionary for each. It would just be a default dictionary, I think. There's no. Okay, let's go dictionary mode here. So let's say grid dictionary. That's a default dictionary of integers, where the key is the cell reference, and the value is the integer. Okay. Set cell. I don't need to even get the row and column. I can just do self.gridDictionary for the cell is equal to this value. And then reset cell is self.gridDictionary for the cell is equal to 0. Split is getting 0. And then split finds the plus symbol to divide where the references are. And here, let's go back to the other way. So if the formula at 1, I wonder if this digit is slow. on check character is digit. Is it just is digit on the character? Okay. If it's a character digit, then yeah, it's gonna just use submissions. I'm gonna use this thing right here. Okay, if it's a digit, then get the integer version of that string, and otherwise yeah, there's just no way that this thing needs to be. Oh, anyways. Self dot grid dictionary at the reference of 1 to the split. And then formula for the second reference, if that first starts with a digit, then find that. Otherwise, value 2 equals self dot grid dictionary formula from 1 plus the split to the end. And now I guess I don't need this anymore because I used the dictionary. I need to get rid of these references. I don't need that. I need that. Okay. In theory, this should be faster, but take a lot more space, I think. 23.8 megabytes. 23.5 megabytes. I guess it didn't take that much more space. Okay, well, I guess that's the much faster version of how to do this. So let me go ahead and delete. I really don't like this formatting. Reference 1 is formula from 1 to the split. Reference 2 is formula from split plus 1 to the end of the array, or the string. And then if reference 1, the first character of that is a digit, then take the integer casting of that string. And then if it's not, then I can probably just do a tertiary operator here. If value 1 is equal to the integer of reference 1, if reference 1, the first character is a digit, else it's going to be self.grid dictionary at this reference 1. Value 2 equals integer of reference 2 if reference 2 starts with a digit, else self.grid dictionary of reference 2. Alright, much cleaner. Much cleaner, but also much wrong. Wrong or just not running correctly is straight up wrong. Oh, whoops. Probably need to return. Let's go. Yep. Okay. Well, all that time just to get it down to these little bits of code. Okay. Summary. So initially tried to store values in a 2D array of integers where methods would convert the cell string to row/column indices, which are then used to access or edit the matrix appropriately. Additionally, along with a helper method to do that conversion, reusably. However, the parsing of the cell string is kind of slow, requiring conversion of string to ints, e.g. let's say 123 to 123, a string 123. Such that it's anything, or such that processes, such that avoiding that parsing step could dramatically increase or decrease the speed needed. Thus, in the final attempt, used a default dictionary of ints instead of 2D array for storage of information, storage of value information. Can use the cell string directly as the key to access values in the dictionary. When doing formula, a method just need a step to check if cell reference string is a integer value or cell reference by checking if first character in string is a digit. Obviously would use .find method for the plus symbol to determine where the references split. between the cell 1 and cell 2 that's in the formula. All right. Time complexity, this should be O of O of 1 for the constructor. It's just creating a default dictionary. O of 1 for set cell. For set cell, since access to misspelled access to cells to values in a dictionary is constant. O of 1 for edit, again, access to the cells is constant, and get value, or using the formula, and O of 1 for get formula. Since everything there is constant in terms of parsing is even. No, actually. It'd be O of maybe K, where K is the length of the formula to find where the plus symbol is. In the formula. After that, other operations are O of 1. Using that to split. Actually, after that, other operations are O of 1 or O of K. Actually, let me double check. So, splicing string time complex Python. I think it's O of N to splice a string. Yeah, O of K, where the K is the length of the slice. Slicing? I thought it was splicing. Okay, slicing the string. Since slicing is needed to get cell references. Base complexity, this can be O of E, where there are E elements in the matrix, which will be in general 26 times the number of rows. Each of those elements would be an entry in the default dictionary. Be a unique default dictionary.